Welcome. I'm Shaura Hall, and whether you've already said yes to this journey or you're feeling the pull to discover what's calling you here, I'm happy to meet you at the threshold. Pilamaya was born from a prayer, from a ceremony called Sundance, where I found myself at the centre of an indigenous medicine wheel, connecting to the tree of life. For 21 years I've been coming to this prayer, and it's shaped everything I offer. The prayer asked me to find a way to honestly share the journey of human evolution, to delicately hold the wisdom and the struggles of indigenous people, to transform what I've learned and make it appropriate for the modern world and our communities, and to honour the lineages whilst creating something new. What has emerged is a field of consciousness, Pilamaya. And if I were to offer you a metaphor, Pilamaya feels like the morning star. You know, in those moments before dawn, when Venus appears on the horizon, an indication that a threshold has arrived, a space between night and day. The brightness of the morning star heralds the coming of a new day. As the sun approaches the horizon, the sky begins to change, and the light of the morning star naturally dims to make way for the brilliance of the sun. We're living in that threshold collectively, moments in time where the journey of the night has not yet completed, but the new day is upon us. The old paradigm is still here, and something entirely new is arriving. Pilamaya holds space at the edge of this discovery, positioning itself as a light that reminds us to hold on, to have faith, and to trust that the new day will surely arrive. We're drawing through what is needed for those who are leading the way for the betterment of all beings. This field is influenced by generations of wisdom on this earth. Eastern traditions, indigenous ways, Western psychology, health sciences, spirituality. We're bringing it together in a way that harmonizes past learning whilst opening to new possibilities. Collectively, we're finding our place within something much larger than we've been taught to imagine. If you're feeling drawn here, there's a reason. A soul group has been preparing for this. And what I've discovered is when people arrive into the Pilamaya field, there's often a sense of coming home. And Pilamaya holds several pathways for those who are called to this work. The first one, Transpersonal Yoga Teacher Training, which we'll explore deeply in a moment. The second, Integration Psychotherapy, our pioneering Level 5 diploma for those called to therapeutic work. We also have other professional CPD programs, including meditation and facilitation for mental health and professionals, and also integration psychotherapy for psychedelics. Each pathway has been created for those who wish to be on the frontiers of human evolution, working with therapeutic traditions, conscious leadership, supporting positive social change and the betterment of communities. So, more about transpersonal yoga. Transpersonal yoga is the ancestor to all of my work. It represents my own healing journey and possibly lifetimes of study within different spiritual traditions. This is a teaching for these times. So, it was born from the same prayer that birthed Pilamaya. In fact, at one point, this teacher training was called Pilamaya, until Pilamaya evolved and grew into the overarching centre for all of the work. It's never just been about teaching yoga. It's always been about discovering yourself anew. So whether you plan to teach or taking it as a self-development course, you're in the right place. It's also the foundation for everything else I offer. Everything has grown from the soil of TY. And what makes it different is that we teach from a variety of spiritual threads, restoring sometimes what has been stripped away from whole systems by our political systems, and honouring the sacred journey of the system itself and also of each being that has passed through that system. In essence, it's a sacred journey back to truth. So everything we do in Pilamaya, which by the way means thank you in the language of the Lakota people. And the Lakota people are part of the indigenous group of people who were the first people to the Americas. And there are indigenous people all over the world holding sacred practices and, in a sense, keeping the spiritual field of Earth as stable as it can be in these times. So everything we do is rooted in the 7 sacred values of the white buffalo carved pipe woman. These values form a simple formula for the quality of consciousness I would like to see in this world. So the values are, in short, to live in good health, to remember the generations, to walk in quietness with humility, to be happy or choose happiness, to help one another, to live with the power, and to respect all of life. And these aren't just concepts that we'll discuss. They're living principles that are woven into every practice, every reflection, every moment of the training. By the end of the journey, you will have lived with these values and they will have changed you. And the values themselves, they form the ethical structure for the whole of my work. And so we'll be exploring those together. Let me tell you a little bit more about the structure of TY. So there are 5 modules which are delivered through 5 elements from traditional Chinese medicine, and also we follow the wheel of life. Within each of these modules there is like a middle, a beginning, a middle and an end. So each of the modules in a sense is a standalone module, and put together they bring the whole of the 5 element system and the cycle of life, and they bring them together in such a way that the person has much more of an embodied sense of themselves through the elements and also through the cycle of life. Deeper understanding actually of what the cycle of life has meant for them up to now and what it can mean for them. So we honour also the original all-encompassing nature of TCM, including the spiritual dimensions that were stripped away during China's Cultural Revolution. I'm going to walk you through the journey. Module 1 is called Emerge. Each of the modules have a name, and the name in a way is also part of the container that holds that module. The first module is water. Each of the modules also has an archetype, for the archetype is connected to the element that we're working through. In this one, it's the philosopher. And we journey through the unborn state through to childhood. The yoga we use in this module is Yin Yoga, Embodied Kundalini and Yoga Nidra. From the Eastern system, the Vedantic system, we are exploring the energy bodies, and we're also looking at the ethical structure of yoga, which is understood through the yamas and the niyamas. There is a somatic focus to each of the modules, and in this case, the somatic focus, or the biological focus, is a nervous system, cellular awareness, and there is a somatic invitation to find yourself emerging into consciousness. The invitation is for you to emerge into yourself. In Module 2, the title is Awaken, Awakening to the Grand Design of You. It's delivered through the element of wood, and the archetype is the pioneer. So this is the adolescent journey. And we cover here Hatha Yoga, standing yoga practices that build strength and vision. And we look to the pantheon of Hindu gods here, and we meet Lord Hanumanji, who is the monkey god, who is a figure of strength and dedication, devotion. We also explore the Bhagavad Gita, which for those of you that don't know, is a song, and it's a song that encapsulates a story, and the story is of teacher and student, and the teacher is a deity that represents the universe, and the student is faced with some of the difficult decisions that the earth journey brings to us. That's all I'm going to say about that for now. Biologically, we look at movement patterns, we learn about neuroplasticity, and the focus is really about claiming autonomy. And the invitation is to awaken to this becoming field. Module 3 is called Comprehend. The element is fire. The archetype is the wizard. And we're looking through the lens of early childhood and looking at the early adulthood even, and looking at the transformation that we go through then. To support this, we cover Agni Yoga, we work with Kundalini Kriyas, and also fire rituals. You learn to create your own. Working with the Eastern influence of Lord Agni, which is the deity that is associated with fire, transformation and reverence. We practice mudras, and we look at the internal winds, so another one of the energy bodies, and learn more about that. We're looking at the enteric nervous system, which is the gut, also circulation, and again looking at how transformation occurs in our bodies and in our minds, in our spirits. So the invitation here is to comprehend the truth of what you are. Module 4, Deepen. The element is earth. The archetype is the peacemaker. So this is about the middle years, and we're grounding into the wisdom of what we learn in the earlier years. So we work with movements, and we work with a practice called Nyasa, which is about placing things within our bodies and our spiritual bodies, energetic bodies. We introduce you to the 5 great elements, and we work with sound and seed mantras. We explore the chakras through a number of lenses, and in a way we go into the more subtler aspects of the physical system, touch a little bit on the quantum reality and field theory, so that we can have a grounding in the vastness of this physical realm. So inviting you to deepen into the vastness of you. And finally, Module 5, Surrender. The metal, the element is metal. And this is the close of the cycle. The archetype is the alchemist. And this is about elderdom. This is about preparing for completion. preparing to close. We do more practices of the internal winds. There are rebirthing practices, more Kundalini Kriyas, and different kinds of rebirthing practices here. We also work with breath work and create closing ceremony. So the focus is breath, endings, spiritual completion, inviting you to surrender to the great mystery. Each module weaves together Eastern and Western wisdom, creating a unique cosmology. And within this, we invite you to take what makes sense to you and leave the rest. Our hope is that it supports you to create cosmologies that are unique to yourself and bring ways of being into your life that has meaning and brings you to what you love. The somatic practices we work with are create a bridge between spirit and matter. And in a way, we look at the body as a bridge between spirit and matter. So it's matter and there's spirit in it, and to bring ourselves in to an embodied awareness. In a way, the awareness becomes the bridge between what's already here. And so the overarching intention is to connect you to your body, and so that you begin to recognize it as a unique container that life force moves through. So reconnecting to all of our bodies is something that seems to be important during this threshold time in humanity. So the training is not just about learning postures. It's about listening to the body as a teacher. It's a place where modern biological understanding meets with ancient wisdom. And the practices are designed in a way for your embodiment and to help you embed the teachings into your cells. And the lifestyle stage, in a way, has a movement pattern that supports this integration. So within the journey that we take in the cycle of life, in a sense, it's a way for you to embody that life cycle, even if you've moved way past it. So, what are you going to learn? What do we teach? You learn to curate transformational experiences, not just classes. So we teach you through experiences that have containers, the whole of the course being one of the larger containers that you're in, each of the modules being in a container within itself, and then each of the experiences that we share has a framework. So we're going to teach you to work like that rather than to create a sequence and deliver a sequence, and if you're here for personal development, to be able to create things for yourself that have a wider container. You work with Yoga Nidra, Yin Yoga, Hatha, Kundalini, Agni Yoga. There's ritual, there's ceremony. We're going to show you how to build altars for the elements, or explore that with you if you already work with altars. We're going to share with you the practices that connect you to the meridians and the energy bodies, the other energy bodies, as there are more than one. We'll look at the chakras as maps for healing, and we'll look at the chakras from more of a modern and a more of a historical perspective too. You'll integrate the biological and the spiritual aspects of the course. You're going to do your own inner work, integrating shadows and building self-awareness. Especially for those of you who teach or who are training to teach, it's very important to us that you are aware of yourself in this process, and that your psychological emotional, spiritual and physical systems are all kind of aligned with the ethical frame of Pilamaya. So by the end, whether you teach or not, you're going to have undergone a profound journey. There'll be tools to hold transformative spaces for yourself and for others, and you'll have discovered yourself anew, for sure. So practically, what do we do? For those of you that have signed up to the next cohort, there will be live online sessions and recordings available through Box, self-directed learning materials. There are different kinds of homework that help you to deepen your understanding and practice. There is a self-assessment form that tracks how the 7 sacred values travel with you. There's a final reflection on the 7 sacred values and on how you've got to know them through the course of this training. And also we ask for 5 workshop plans that show your growth. So this is transformational work. It requires dedication, honesty, and willing to show up for yourself and the group. For those of you who are taking this course as an on-demand course, when you sign up for the course, the teaching materials will be delivered to your inbox. There will also be a concise guide to help you to make your way through these materials. At the end of each module, it's part of the package that you come to meet with me. So there's a 1.5 hour session with me that will give you the opportunity to ask questions, to share something with me, and to get to know more about what you've learned. So if you've committed to the journey, thank you. Take time now to prepare yourself, read through the handbook that we're sending over to you, join the WhatsApp group, begin to sense into what's ahead. You've said yes to something profound. And if you're watching this and you're feeling the pull but you haven't yet taken the step, trust that feeling. If Pilamaya is calling you, there's a reason. This might be exactly the threshold you've been looking for. So you can visit the website, theyogologist.co.uk, theyogologist.co.uk. And on the website you'll learn more about the structure of the course, the values, the journey. There's also a blog that I've written on the 7 sacred values. You'll find that on my personal website, which is shaurahall.com, ShauraHall.com. And my invitation to you is to see if what you read resonates in your body. And if it does, perhaps trust in your inner knowing and come. We're living in times that are asking us to evolve, to remember who we truly are, to find our place at the edge of what's emerging. Pilamaya holds space for that unfolding. And transpersonal yoga is where the journey begins. So I'm looking forward to this journey of unfolding consciousness with you. Whether you're preparing or you're still deciding, know that you're welcome here. This is your invitation to come home.